Hello everybody and welcome to my first YouTube video. And today I will be reacting to stories from r/AmITheDevil. This is my first YouTube video ever because I'm tired of seeing the AI Reddit reading posts and I decided to be the change you want to see in the world. This is pretty low quality, but it's something that I've been wanting to do and I figured I would do it in cosplay because why not? It sounds like fun. I forgot half of the accessories for RAM, so we are getting RAM on a budget because I left my accessories at home. But I hope you guys like it anyway, so let's get right into the stories. I switched sides because I figured it would probably be better to see me looking like this than looking like this because you can't see half of my face. Anyways, our first story is from r/relationship advice. My 36M husband of 5 years says I, 39F, am abusive, and I'm not sure I agree. Is flipping off your husband considered abuse? I am nowhere near perfect, and freely admit I have a temper that I have been consistently working on, but I am having a difficult time absorbing my husband telling me I'm abusive. I love him and I never want to hurt him or be associated with this word again, so I feel I need outside perspective to help me accept that this is true, or is my husband wanting to win an argument? I grew up in a yelling house. My first marriage was a yelling marriage, and I know that yelling and chaos is where and how I perceive love, which is insane. But I want to acknowledge it here for the context. When I feel unheard, I scream. I'm a small person, 5'1", and have felt dominated by men all of my life, so I think I scream to feel heard. There is no name calling, but I understand it is traumatizing, so I've been working on myself for years in a genuine attempt to change. The first time my husband told me that I was abusive was because of my screaming. Several years ago, I said F you in an argument and quickly learned that it's 100% not okay. So I do keep that at the forefront of my mind, so I do not say it and hurt him again. Last night, out of pure frustration, I double flipped my husband off and was told for the second time that I am abusive. Again, I am clearly imperfect and fully recognize the immaturity of flipping a partner off. But abuse? That is a big word to me, and I feel like it's becoming an easy word to throw around to shame me into losing during arguments. I genuinely feel I'm a good person and I truly want to be better myself, but do not want to be taken advantage of. I am, however, fairly sensitive, so please be kind. And some of the responses: I am, however, fairly sensitive, so please be kind. Take your own advice and be kind to the person you claim to love. Another person said, you're working on your anger? How? By screaming louder? Your husband is going to dump you and it's because you're abusive to him. Don't say you haven't been warned. Another person responded to, when I feel unheard, I scream. They said, and you have to ask if you're abusive? Tell your husband to stop wasting his time and run. I feel like, to some degree I get it. I also grew up in like a screaming household, but I don't scream in an argument when I'm in a relationship. I don't feel like that's really an appropriate thing to do. I feel like to talk something out is probably the best way to do it. I feel like flipping somebody off and saying F you or fuck you is not the worst kind of thing to happen, but also his feelings should be taken into account and his feelings are valid. So I feel kind of silly, like I don't really know what I'm doing, but you know what? Somebody's gotta not be an AI, and it's gonna be me. Story number 2 comes from r/confessions. And this one, I read this and I said, my friend uses me for sexual content and I'm secretly the customer that keeps paying her to do it. Oh boy. My M22 best friend F22 is a girl who I'm insanely attracted to. She only sees me as a friend though, since she's a lesbian and would never be in a relationship with a man. She confided in me that she started making sexual content online for extra money. It's not that big, but enough to pay her rent each month on top of her normal job. I feel like that's a lot. I mean, I guess we're depending on where you live, but like rent isn't cheap, so it isn't a lot. That's a lot. She has a full-on secret Insta, Twitter, OnlyFans, etc. It came as a shock and I asked her so many questions about it and she briefly showed me her account while we talked about it. She then dropped a bombshell on me that she wanted me to help her with a video someone paid for. Apparently they were tired of the solo content. So I was filming and then the air conditioning decided to come on. And I don't know if you guys can hear it, so I'm just gonna wait until it turns off and then keep going. Wonderful weather we're having. We're back! I won't get into specifics because I'm not sure the rules here, but she wouldn't do a full-on sex since she doesn't like guys. It was more a fetish thing. She made it very clear she just needed a dick for the vid, and she trusted me, but she was doing it for the money and not because she liked me. And she'd give me some of the profit if I helped her. We did it, but I also memorized her username and waited a couple days and subscribed to her anonymously. Ever since then, I've been doing the same thing, paying her anonymously for videos that would include a guy just that way she keeps using me IRL. I feel bad deceiving her, especially since she's giving me back some of my own money. You guys. It's crazy. He has an edit, came here just to vent about the lie. To all of you chronically online warriors trying to make it 100 times worse or ignoring context, just leave. You can give a shit about me for lying or being a bad friend, but for those of you trying to take it as far as assault or rape, touch grass and save your breath. I genuinely don't care about your take when you're taking it that far. She's in control of doing stuff or not. She's not reliant on the money, she doesn't hate it, and is being forced to do it. I think he meant isn't being forced to do it. Chill out. She wouldn't even consider it anything like that. Just more like a normal lie, which is why I'm considering telling her. I don't see anywhere in the original post where he said that I'm considering telling her. But, okay. She's not as delusional as some of you apparently are. Not sure how/where I'm supposed to do an update because nobody would see it on my own page, and by then this post would have ran its course. So I don't know, won't promise one, but thanks for all the support. Y'all flooded my DMs offering to help. LOL, I can't respond to you all, but I'm good. Thanks to the people who understood the weird gray area, or even negative people who weren't insane. Maybe I'll be back in a couple days, maybe not. One of the replies said, holy fuck, there's a lot to unpack here. Like it's the next century's romance novel, or a cyberpunk side quest. I don't know, I just feel like it's insanely creepy and manipulative to do. They just feel so weird and nasty, and I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Our next post comes from r/AmITheAsshole. And this one kind of got me because I was like, are we really sure what we're doing here? Have we lost the plot? Am I the asshole for being ungrateful about my sister taking me on vacation? My older sister, 30F, and I, 15M, are not on good terms with our parents, so until I go to college, I am living with her. She works for the government, and this summer she's working overseas in the UK. Just because of logistics and the fact that somebody has to watch over me, she's taken me along with her. And we are flying home in the first week of September. Living in the UK has been a lot more boring than I thought it would be, and living together with my sister for the summer has been pretty hectic, and I sort of miss the privacy. She's very doting and she has the habit of nagging me and all that. Last night we got into a pretty big fight where I admitted to her that our trip to the UK has not lived up to my expectations. We're not doing anything fun here. Our fight drove her to tears, and she told me that I had pulled the rug out from under her because for all this time she thought I was grateful that I had my older sister to take care of her. To take care for me? That's what they said, to take care for me. The mood today is pretty bad as well, and she has not forgotten about our fight last night. Am I the asshole? Because I figured if I'm not enjoying the trip, then I needed to be honest, and I shouldn't pretend that I'm enjoying the trip. Also this morning, before my sister headed to work, I had jokingly asked her when she was going to find a boyfriend and get married, just to lighten up the mood, and she got pissed off and told me that she'll start doing all that when I am capable of taking care of myself. To be fair, she does pay for the bills and do 90% of the work in our household. Who's gonna tell him this isn't a vacation? I am begging you to get a fucking grip. It's not a vacation, she's going there to work. You just came along with because someone has to take care of you. We're not doing anything fun here. This is her job, she's here for work, bro. Like, what are you expecting? This one got me like crazy, because what are you talking about? Am I being ungrateful? In the title, am I being ungrateful about my sister taking me on vacation? And you're being ungrateful, yeah, you're being ungrateful for your sister who's busting her ass to take care of you. Like, I get you're 15, and I was a brat at 15, but like, holy shit. You should not have unfiltered access to the internet at 15 to be posting shit like this. Am I the asshole for reporting a delivery driver who I thought was lying to get out of doing more work? Throwaway account because I don't want this linked to my main. So today for lunch, I decided to order from a Mexican restaurant through one of those food delivery services. I've had a bad experience or two where my order was missing some items, but the drivers would usually be gone before I realized I could catch them to fix the issue. I'd always have to report it through the app's support chat, which is such a pain to use because they obviously outsource their representatives, and it's frustrating trying to communicate with them. I usually give up after a few messages back and forth. When my driver arrived, I told her to stay so I could check the bag and make sure everything was there. I noticed she kind of raised her eyebrow for a moment, but otherwise she stood quietly and waited. Sure enough, a couple of things were missing. I politely said she needed to return to the restaurant and get my missing items. In a very neutral, rehearsed sounding tone, she said that it's against company policy to do that, and I should contact support through the app. I explained that I preferred not to deal with support. She said they're the only ones who can help, and she's really not supposed to go back to the restaurant. I was a bit annoyed at this point, so I asked what the company policy was on making sure the orders were correct. She said that restaurants close the bags for the drivers, and they're not meant to open them or the containers inside. Something about food safety violations and not being trained, ? After a moment, she apologized for the trouble and left. To me, this honestly just sounded like a bunch of BS excuses to get out of doing her whole job. If they can't go back to the restaurant, how are customers supposed to get their food/money back? If they can't open the bags to check the orders, how do they even know they're delivering the right food? It makes no sense to me. So on the page where I rate my driver and can leave feedback, I made a note of my situation and explained why I thought she was in the wrong. I then left 1 star and revoked my tip. Bro, I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed. A bit later, I was talking to my sister over the phone, who I thought would enjoy the story because she works for a different but similar restaurant. Fuck. We're just gonna talk through this because I'm not waiting like 15 minutes for the fucking AC to shut off again. A bit later, I was talking to my sister over the phone, who I thought would enjoy the story because she works for a different but similar delivery company. My sister said, "Did you actually think she was gonna go back to the restaurant?" I laughed, thinking she was taking a dig at competing companies' drivers, but she just said, "I'm not joking. You literally reported her for following the rules." At first, I thought my sister had misunderstood a part of the story or something, so I kind of brushed it off. But now, based on her reaction and what both her and the driver said, I'm wondering if they're right. Am I the asshole for reporting her and taking my tip back because I thought she was lying? Yes. Yes, you are. I used to do DoorDash every so often. I would accept basically any order because I needed anything. First of all, stores put stickers and stuff on items so that way we can't open them as drivers because people would steal food, because people would tamper with it. And then we'd come to your house and deliver the food, and you'd be pissed because your fries are half empty. So that's why they started sealing the bags. So we can't check your food. When I used to go, I would talk to the people at the counter. I'd be like, "Is this everything in here?" Including all the sauces and everything like that. They'd say yes. There's no way for me to verify, so I just had to take their word for it. It's not even that hard to go through customer service is the thing. It's not even that hard. Like, okay, it can maybe be a little frustrating, but you can at least get some money back through that. What do you want the driver to do? Go back and be like, "Order wrong." A couple of the replies said, "Oh my god, wait a minute. I think this is the person. This is the driver." This account is now deleted, but they said, "Oh my, is the world really this small?" This could be a total coincidence, and I guess I have no real way to confirm this, but I had a very similar conversation with a customer today over a missing burrito and a side of cheese dip. Even if you're not that person I talked to, I'm off the clock now, so I have some more words for you and people like you. First off, it's so annoying when people say, "Oh, hold on a second, just want to make sure it's all here." Right then, I know. I might be about to waste some time having this exact conversation. Yes, it's scripted because it happens all the time, and it's better to be prepared. Second off, I cannot return to the restaurant. If I don't mark your order as delivered in a given amount of time, I start getting calls from dispatch. If I mark your order as delivered, then go back to the restaurant, I've lost your order info because the system thinks I don't need it anymore. And I usually have another order waiting to be sent to me after yours, so I have to move on to that one. Third off, stop and think about it. Do you want a person you don't know opening your food containers with their hands that have been touching a steering wheel, dozens of door handles and doorbells, cash tips from questionable places, and that haven't been washed all day because they've been in a car? It's nasty and not sanitary. I try to verify with restaurants, but most of the time, they're practically shoving me out the door, so sorry. Which is what I said earlier. Fourth off, I spend literally all day, delivering food to people just to make some money. With one of my companies, I have no choice but to deliver orders I'm given, so I can't be lazy. With the rest, I still can't be lazy because if I am, that means less money. You know nothing about this industry. I couldn't say this before, but I can say it now. You're the asshole. And I couldn't agree more. I really couldn't. Our next story is, am I the asshole for kicking out my friend for referring to my wife as my partner? I'll keep this brief. My wife Julia and I have been married for a while. There's a friend of mine at work, Aiden, who visited my house yesterday. He had never seen Julia before, but knows we are married. The gist is this: when he saw her, his first response was, "Oh, so that's your partner, is it?" I was very much offended since I consider this a ridiculous term. I think it's both formal, which should be the case for a romantic relationship, and lacks warmth. I snapped, "No, she's my wife, Julia." Eden seemed surprised and said, "Yeah, that's what I meant. She's your partner." I retorted by saying that I do not want him to use that term when referring to her relationship with me since we are not business partners. Julia was offended as well. Now, I didn't want to make a big deal, but he just doubled down. He said he had no fucking idea what I'm talking about and that I cannot police his language. I asked him whether he thinks a romantic relationship is just a business-like transaction. The upshot is that I demanded an apology, which he refused to give, and also continued spouting that garbage. In the end, I kicked him out. He called us crazy lunatics as he left, and some other people are mad as well. Am I the asshole? I don't know if I would say asshole, but you're like stupid. Like, that's just a stupid thing to get mad about. Julia was offended as well. Well, Julia can grow the fuck up. It's just a term. It's really not that deep at the end of the day. It's really not that fucking deep. I wish that I had no other issues in my life that I could get this pressed about somebody calling my significant other my partner. I wish I had no other issues and that this was the peak problem in my life at the time. Next story is also from r/am I the asshole. Am I the asshole for telling my wife she can't be a stay-at-home mom or work just part-time in order for us to not move in with her parents because we can't afford a mortgage and our standard cost of living? Oh my god, there's no punctuations. Holy shit, this is just one long sentence. I'm working 40 hours a week plus overtime when I can while going to night school. She says she doesn't want to work because she doesn't want someone else to watch our child and that she wants to be with him. If this is where she wants to hold strong, I'm contemplating divorce. Am I the asshole? P.S. My son is 3 months old and her parents are retired and her mother has offered to watch him while we're at work. 3 months old. That child is 3 months old and you're like, get back to work. You gotta go. You gotta go. Time is money and you are not fucking working. Get out. So a response from someone says, based on OP's other post, his kid is 2 to 3 months old. On top of that, he's entering active duty military where additional housing and sustenance allowances will be provided, in addition to base salary. Bases also have free/low-cost childcare services available. OP sounds like marriage and parenthood are hitting him in the face with a big-time reality check and he's looking for a way out. You're the asshole. Baby is 3 months old and your go-to is divorce? Come on, man. You're the asshole, if only for that. No, for real. 3 months old and you're like, get the fuck out of the house, you need to go to work. You're considering divorce because your 3 months postpartum wife isn't ready to leave your 3-month-old baby and go back to work. You're the asshole. Our last post for today. Am I the asshole for making my husband miss his best friend's baby's birthday? My 26F husband's 28 male best friend was having a birthday party for his baby's first birthday. That's a lot of B's. Which I understand is a big deal. However, I recently broke my arm after falling off a ladder and need a lot of help with daily tasks. I can't work, cook, drive, and even getting dressed is extremely difficult. Since my husband works during the day, I've been spending the day for the past couple weeks at my sister's, who's a stay-at-home mom. Now, my husband's friend lives in a different town. He moved a couple years ago, and my husband knew him since high school, and is about a 3.5-hour drive away. He would have to leave early in the morning and come back late at night. The birthday party took place on Saturday, which is my sister's busiest day, as she has to take her kids to various activities and run errands, so she'd basically be out of the house the entire day. I knew there was no way she could take care of me, so I told my husband he needed to miss the party. Again, I know the first birthday is a big deal, but I wouldn't have been able to take care of myself or do anything for the entire day. I said he could always visit them after I got better. It's not like the baby's going anywhere. Birthday party is just a superficial event and by no means is absolutely necessary. He was pretty upset about this, and I overheard his conversation with his friend and he was pretty pissed about it too. The thing is, his friend had never broken a bone before, so he had no idea how difficult it was just getting through the day. I think my husband is holding a grudge now. He doesn't say anything, but I can see that he hasn't let this go. I told my sister about it afterwards, and she thinks what I did was awful, but I really don't see why it's such a huge deal. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't have kids, but I don't see why missing a birthday party is such a terrible thing, especially given the circumstances. He broke one arm. If only we had 2 arms. It's a damn shame. If only we had 2 arms. You're the asshole. I've never seen someone with just a broken arm require around-the-clock caregiver. You're 26, not 94. No, for real, that's what I'm saying. You're the asshole to both your husband and your sister. People have already told you how you're the asshole to your husband, so I'm gonna focus on your sister. Sweetie, your sister is tired of you. You've been spending every day at her place while she has little kids to take care of. I suppose you expect her to cater to your needs while you're there. It's been weeks. She's tired of you. Give her a break too. Another comment says, you're the asshole. You should be able to spend a Saturday without needing to work, cook, drive, or change your clothes. You can also do basic tasks by yourself with one only hand/arm. Do a grocery run in advance so you have food you can eat without cooking or with minimal cooking. Get changed into comfy clothes you can wear all day in the morning, and spend the day binge watching Netflix or something. People do it all the time even when they're not injured. I also think you're milking it. You don't need someone waiting on your hand and foot 24/7 for an injury to your upper extremity. My grandma took a terrible fall and lost complete use of her arm from her shoulder. But even at 84, she didn't need constant live-in care just for that. We had someone stop by for an hour or two every day to help with things she couldn't do and check in, but that was it. How a 26-year-old is completely invalidated by an arm injury is beyond me. You have a spare, you know. You have another arm, bro. Literally, you have another arm. I've never broken a bone, so I get it, I guess. Everybody's pain tolerance and like level of capability is different, but I mean, a cup of ramen, just open it and pour water, you know, or like a Hot Pocket. So thank you guys for watching my very first YouTube video. If you want to follow and support my dance group, it's at Volare Idols or volare.idols. You guys should support us. We're pretty cool. We work really hard. Subtle plug, but yeah. Like and subscribe if you liked and subscribed it. See ya!